Brian, we have talked to some of the legends.
Yeah.
Like, we had one field, we walked 3 miles to practice and back, and it's pretty amazing to see the bridge, the whole thing, 50 years to see it come together this weekend.
The story I like to talk about Hank Leotard was we had a birthday party when we were like 10 years old, and him and Pepe and Dave Butler and some of those guys showed up. Somehow our parents figured out a way. It was an appearance. You could get Sounder players at birthday parties, and we had this big backyard, and we were playing soccer with them in the backyard. So that's one of the guys that I remember vividly when I was 10, 11, 12 years old. So good memories for me. That's just part of the story about how Sounders fans connected with people in this area, or Sounder players connected with Sounder fans in this area. But hopefully you guys can get a chance to talk to a few more.
We have. It's pretty legendary, the stories.
Yeah.
The growth of the game is obviously what they kind of started. I mean, they're looking around here like, I can't believe it.
Well, we did that as well when we moved in here too, even myself being around for a long time. I mean, it's a super nice facility, but yes, Hank would tell you they trained at Memorial Stadium. There was a spell where we used to train at Renton Stadium behind the Boeing plant with jet engines. We went to Starfire, we back to Lumen. So we've been all around. This is a nice place to call home.
Ryan, what do you think having a circle of legends does for your franchise?
Well, you mean the players that are going to play tomorrow, or the franchise?
Like having something like a Ring of Honor.
Oh, the Ring of Honor. Yeah. I was going to say it should motivate some of the guys for tomorrow, but yes, the Ring of Honor and all that, yes. I think it's a great tradition to start. You see it in a lot of different stadiums. I was giving Preki a bad time because he's in the Kansas City Stadium up there, Ring of Honor. Making sure that we acknowledge the efforts and the accomplishments of players, groups of players, the whole 74 team, individual players. I think that's a good tradition to start.
For a club that has now a pretty vast history, in your opinion, what constitutes a legend? When you hear the word Sounders legend, what does that mean to you?
You might have stumped me there. I mean, look, legend could be a lot of different things. It could be one of the early pioneers. It could be someone that had a great career. It could be some of the maybe not talked about so many players that did a lot in the community. I mean, there's lots of Sounder legends. I'll just go back to the things that I know really well. Craig Tomlinson is here. He was a good player for me in the USL days. Ended up being a teacher, impacted a lot of kids' lives in a positive way. He's a legend in my mind. Did he ever make the MLS squad? No. So there's stories like that are included with all of this. So that would be my answer.
Brian, you mentioned earlier in the week, this is kind of the midway point, and things need to get moving here for your team.
For sure.
What's the look out here this weekend?
Well, again, I hope that this whole celebratory thing doesn't take away from their focus, their concentration. Minnesota's a good team, but I think they're ready.
Can it be
I think they're ready. It should be. Should be.
In terms of availability, I still don't see Nuhu. Is there any kind
Nuhu
of...
should be inside doing his regen.
So is there any chance that he's available tomorrow?
He is available and playing tomorrow.
And then
Jonathan Bell is available. Nathan's available. The only guy that's not available is De La Vega.
We saw Bordelia Rodriguez out there. How's he doing?
Good. He's going to get a few games with Defiance, but he looked good. I mean, he's happy to be back out here from his long-term injury, but he looked good.
You have talked before about the kind of the state of the franchise, and not obviously being where you guys want to be. And after one of the games, you had mentioned that it was a low point since you had been here. Do you kind of feel, as far as your play, is that now, or does a day like today or a weekend like today kind of uplift you as far as where you feel you guys are at?
Well, the pragmatic part of me says we're still way too low for my liking, but certainly the emotional side of myself is great to see a bunch of people that I started with, played against. It's a good day emotionally, but yeah, the standing isn't changing after today's events.
A
few more for Brian, guys.
Does this Minnesota... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, Gonzo, you had an opportunity. What was it like to be able to catch him?
Good. I'm glad he came out. He was a very, very good player for this club, and a great coach for the club.
Does this feel any different? Is there any even more added pressure because of the celebration, everything going on, plus the moment of the team, plus what it could mean for the second half?
The pressure is just internal with players and staff. This is a great event, but the players know that they need to start collecting points, especially at home.
I know the goal obviously is to avoid getting red cards in the first place, but how concerning is it that it seems like when things go wrong, they tend to snowball for you? Like, you've given up a goal every time you've gotten a red card this year, and how do you sort of go about addressing that and keep that from happening?
It's addressing it because you never really train playing down a guy. I mean, we don't use our valuable training time on that, but certainly the messaging is there. You have to have guys that, grit, determination, can persevere, can figure out ways how to kill the game. And, there's been moments in our history and other games around the world that even teams that are man down can actually continue to play forward and score goals. So we've mentioned it all, but that's about it.
How big with his changing his was that even a conversation with you as far as he goes and
no, it's his decision, Jada. It's his decision. He had made the decision a while ago. He's at peace with it. I'm happy for him.
Brian, how important is it for the three banks to stay connected in terms of possession and on defense?
Well, they're a transition team, so if we establish possession higher up the field, they like to get out and transition. Our active defending is going to be key.
And then the execution.
Last one, guys.
Execution, we want to try and score some goals.
Is there anything you can do to do that? I'm sorry, Brian. I know it's just the obvious. Is there anything else that has to happen for them to get in the box there for that execution to happen?
Well, we've worked on different things, and we're going to put a good team out there, and they got to execute, like you said. They got to execute. They got to make plays.